Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Deliberate Discussions. Today is Wednesday, May 21st. I am your co host, Vicki Horton,
And I'm your co-host, Adric Parker.
and together we are Deliberate
Deliberate.
Discussions.
How you doing, babe?
I've been a little under the weather for the past couple of weeks and, been traveling and stuff. Just found out I have to wear my braces for another year. So my mouth I just they added my bottoms back on and they tighten them up. So my mouth is still so very sore.
Yeah, I can hear it. I can hear it in your speech, how just how sore it is.
Friend, I'm
But
hungry.
but
I'm so hungry. I can't eat nothing. I can't eat nothing. My mouth hurts so bad.
are they like really tight, friend? Like,
Yeah, I just had them done the 15th. They put the bottoms back on
okay.
and they tightened the tops and just found out I have to wear my braces.
Oh,
Ooh.
sorry. Hey, hey, Pam. Hey,
So,
Josh.
hey Pam, hey Josh, how y'all doing?
Making sure we was.
So yeah, they're very tight. My teeth are still hurting. My gums are a little swollen, but I'm gonna get through it. I mean, I'm trying to nibble on this damn lo mein, and it's hurting to chew. So just pray for me, please.
Oh, okay. Life has been life for everyone. I will, before we get started, I would like to give a shout out to our supporters because although life has been life for us, we hadn't been on in 2 weeks. Everybody was still reaching out, like, y'all on tonight. So we
Yeah,
appreciate our followers still continuing to check up on us and looking forward to deliberate discussions. We are so grateful for that. I also want to let everyone know that streaming on my Fadric Parker Facebook page, I only connected this page tonight to capture an audience, a larger audience tonight. But I do want to let you guys know if you could please subscribe to Deliberate Discussions YouTube page because our show will be going 100% to YouTube soon. So I just want to ensure that everyone and capture everyone on my page and let
yeah.
them know that we are moving over to YouTube. So please go over to YouTube. Please subscribe to Deliberate Discussions YouTube page and please follow us there. Thank you.
Thank y'all so very much.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. My bad. Hold on.
The folks is rolling. The folks is rolling in.
I,
Some of y'all late. Some of y'all late.
I don't know why this is on. So okay,
Hey,
there. Sorry
Polly
about
Ann.
that. Oh, and I have been sipping on chicken bone broth. Um, so yeah, I'm so
So you
hungry.
can't eat anything solid, friend?
I can, but it hurts. It
Okay,
hurts
because
to
it's
chew.
swollen. Okay.
So for the first 3 to 5 days, which is I think today is my fifth day, I'm supposed to sip on broth and eat. I don't eat starches, so I can't eat rice and potatoes, but I can eat scrambled eggs. I can't even eat cheese because
You better get you some
it's
grits.
gonna stick to my braces, and I just God.
Yeah, you look like you're in pain. So we gonna get through this hour. Get you.
Yeah, so I can go and take me some ibuprofen and try to get some sleep tonight.
Okay, so
Okay, what we got up?
let's go into promo.
Okay, if you would like to advertise your business, your product, or your event, or you would just like to be a guest here on Deliberate Discussions live with Vicky and Thadric, please give me a call at 561-325-1488, or you can email us at deliberategmail.com. Again, that's deliberategmail.com, or send a text message to 561-325-1488. We'd love to promote your business, product, or event, and we would certainly love to have you on our show.
All right, so let's give a special shout out to the Coyotes, our company.
Coyotes. Okay, so as you all know, a couple weeks ago we went to Atlanta to take on the Atlanta Rage. Unfortunately, the game was called due to lightning strikes very early into like minutes into the third quarter, and because the Atlanta Rage were up, they ended up giving the game to the Atlanta Rage. Hopefully, the league will re-look at that and give these girls a chance to face off yet once again to make a determination of who who prevails for that game.
Oh,
So shout out to the West Palm Beach Coyotes. I love you all. This Saturday, they will be heading to Tampa to take on the Tampa Blaze. They did beat the Tampa Blaze twice, at home and away last year. So wish these ladies luck. Good luck, Coyotes. I'm there with you.
y'all got this. Y'all got this. I
Definitely.
also want to I'm going to put this our QR code up on the screen. Everyone that's watching tonight, if you are not subscribed to all of our social media platforms, please take out your mobile device and scan our QR code. That will link you to all of Deliberate Discussions social media platforms. And please follow, subscribe, share it with a friend. Everyone, please, 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 and we thank you. All right, so let's get into these topics tonight. Friend, you ready?
But wait a minute, before we get into that, you had the opportunity to go to Cowboy Carter's.
I did.
Okay, so you gotta tell. I'm upset that I had to ask you to send me the pictures and the videos because you always know I want to see your experience because I live through you in some things.
Friend, let me tell you something. It was an amazing experience. And one thing my husband, Joshua Williams Parker, is going to do is make sure I see Beyonce. Period. Okay. It's a must because
I love that. And you two look so happy. Who was the other
he,
couple with you guys?
there was a couple. That was my friend Pam, and one of my colleagues, Christina, actually attended with us as well.
Okay.
But you met Pam at the wedding, and
Yeah, I
Chris.
did. Yep.
So they were actually here as well, and it was
Mhm.
a great experience. I can honestly say that I enjoyed Renaissance. I actually saw Renaissance plenty of times, but I was really just outdone. Just like really, just like wow, this woman is a true performer, and the fact that she incorporated her children into this tour as
Yeah.
well was even more phenomenal. And it was a great, great concert. And I was really, really shocked as how many of white people were there. It was more whites than
Oh,
it was,
I'm not.
and it was, I mean, but it was absolutely. Thank you, Josh. It was absolutely amazing. But I will say I'm still paying for it because as you know, I suffer from severe allergies, and
Yeah.
Soldier Field is an outdoor stadium here, and the temperatures wasn't the best, and the wind was blowing. So I've actually been suffering from a sinus infection ever since Saturday.
You just had surgery a couple months
Just-
ago,
I
right?
just I just had surgery, and my allergies, my sinuses are on 10. I had a doctor's appointment on yesterday, and he went in and did his thing with the camera, and all of everything inside is inflamed and swollen. So I'm actually on 2 antibiotics now to
Oh.
get rid of this sinus infection. But
Well,
uh,
babe, I'm gonna tell you, Beyonce is worth every bit of that
it
sinus
was worth
infection.
every penny that my husband spent. It was worth it. So I will take these antibiotics and scribe.
If it hadn't been for that Target card being paid off, y'all may not have gone.
What Pam said, you went to see Coldplay, not me. It was
Hey, did
Coldplay.
you get a chance to see Blue Ivy dance?
Blue Ivy and Rumi. I mean, it was an beautiful thing what she did with her children, and the fact that Blue Ivy has progressed the way that she did from the Renaissance tour and her dancing and performing, and she literally killed it, Vicky, on this stage. And
Wow.
I was so happy to see her, just to be received by the fans the way that she was, and I just don't understand
She's gorgeous.
how she can do it at her age, at 40 something years old, and be on stage performing for 3 hours. Girl, you can't get 5 minutes out of
3
me.
hours?
But it was worth it. And when I tell you the people showed up and showed out in their cowboy outfits, but I will
Wow.
say one thing, I wouldn't give a damn. Well, you know what? I hate Soldier Field because of the fact that
Yeah.
Soldier Field is not designed for events here in
Mhm.
Chicago. Anyone knows Chicago. Um, um, it's not designed for football games for nothing. I don't even know why this stadium is still open because where the stadium is positioned here in Chicago on the river,
Mhm.
you can't technically drive to it, although they have
Right.
underground which costs an arm and a leg or whatever. But you they we took an Uber from my job to the stadium, and of course the Uber lets you off at a certain point, and you have to walk
Mhm.
the
You
rest of
gotta
the way.
walk.
And
Yeah.
it was just like it's the longest walk, child. And I mean, praise God for them folks that had on their little cowboy boots and their heels, but girls was dolled up. And my
Baby, let me
husband had
tell you
on.
something. We went to the rodeo. I don't want to see another boot, another Duke. Honey, I got them cowboy boots sitting in the back seat of my car with that hat that I had on. And baby, when I tell you, I don't want to see another boot, another Duke, a rodeo, a bull, nothing that looks anywhere near like unless it's Beyonce performing. I don't want to see it. I don't want to go outside. Y'all see, I had to put Bernadette back on.
Okay, I see Bernadette
Okay,
on tonight.
I had to put Bernadette back on. And baby, let me tell you something. It's 100 degrees out there.
Yeah,
For people to be black folks to be wearing boots, ain't no way
yeah.
in hell. I
But
went
when
back
I
to my car and got my damn flip flops.
Vicky, when I tell you she turned this city out for 3 days, when I tell you this city was jam packed,
I can
the
imagine.
mayor even got on a news conference on the news on television on live TV and said he wished she can stay longer because when I tell you every hotel room, every restaurant, she brought so much money into this economy
Oh, I know
and
she did.
it was absolutely amazing. So she performed on Thursday night, which was a horrible rainstorm here.
Mm.
So the show was delayed about 2 hours, and then we went Saturday night, and then she thought her last show was Sunday night, but it was well worth it. So that was
Okay.
my dancing spirits.
Well, I'm glad you had fun, friend. I am. All right, so let's get into these topics.
All right, well, let's
I'm gonna
take
let
this
you
one.
lead because my mouth is hurting so bad.
All right, so we're gonna take this on down to Florida, and this is a story where I'm just like, oh my god, my heart aches for this woman. Um, to be the age that she is and to have to go through what she's going through. So let's play this film. We'll come back and chat about it.
Okay.
Annette Gant Palmer was born in Aiken County, South Carolina, back in February of 1949.
76 years blessed.
But this retired postal worker has called Miami home for 55 years.
My car is paid for, my house is paid for, I'm going to drive.
She's had several Florida driver's licenses in the past, showing us her latest two. On the day before her birthday, she went to renew it and hit a roadblock.
After waiting 2 hours in the line, I said, I'd like to renew my driver's license. Oh no, we need this and we need that. And for what? What reason? I never had it before.
Gant Palmer needed her birth certificate or passport to prove her identity. It's part of the new Real ID program that takes effect next month. Gant Palmer has neither. She says she's been trying to get her birth certificate her whole life.
Back in those days, we were born at home. You didn't know about going to no hospital. The lady came to your house to help your mom have the baby.
For 42 years, she worked at the post office. She also drove school buses with a valid license. So how were you able to get a driver's license to begin with?
Begin with. That's what I asked the driver's license place.
Gant Palmer says she went to the DMV with every document she has, trying to verify her legal existence, including her Social Security card. She also has this letter from the state of South Carolina saying they've searched through decades of records and there's no proof of her birth. I called the Aiken County, South Carolina Office of Vital Statistics. They said they can get Gant Palmer a delayed birth certificate, but it's a lengthy process. It involves her getting her school records from way back in the 1950s. They say she can also get a court order from a judge.
So my aunt is also my constituent.
Florida State Representative Ashley Gant is Gant Palmer's niece. She stepped in trying to help.
I was able to get an extension for 90 days. I'm probably going to reach out to a house member that I met who serves in South Carolina.
So what are you going to do?
I don't know. God's going to work it out, though. I don't know.
Annette Gant.
How is this woman? Get that woman her shit.
Listen, this is why we stress so much on this show and try to bring you these things early. Um, that real ID thing is real. I mean, it is they are not kidding. I literally was at the airport in Atlanta, and you know when you go through those checkpoints, they pulled a guy aside because his didn't have the star on. And I believe it went into effect. Was it this month or last month? April.
It was May 7th.
May. Okay. So they actually gave him a problem because his didn't have the real ID thing. And honestly, I want to say his was an old driver's license, but birth certificates for people born during that time. I was born 1967. I was born right here in Florida. So it's easy. But I have two sisters that were born in the state of Mississippi. And in that county where they were born, one of them, it took her forever to get her birth certificate
Okay.
in order to get her passport. I mean, it took like a year, almost 2 years to get a copy of her birth certificate,
Mhm.
basically proving who she was, having to go to Mississippi and everything. My other sister, she got her birth certificate, but they have her birth year incorrect. So that's always been a problem, with her. So with this lady, and why I got to be Florida all the dang on time. I mean, this lady, I feel for her. This lady has a house that's paid off. She's paid for her car. She's worked. How now? She's going to end up running into a problem with her Social Security.
Oh, most definitely. But my thing is, she's worked. She's been a bus driver. She's had licenses previously, and I'm just like, well, what is the problem?
I don't understand. I just think with this administration we have in office, I think a lot of people are gonna a lot of us brown folks, I think a lot of us are gonna have problems with this real ID thing as well as this deportation thing. And I think they're gonna make it a problem when we go out of the country and try to come back in. If it's
Mhm.
not in our passport or if it's and I don't know if you noticed, but the passport has also been updated.
When you say
Passport
what do you mean updated? I'm
It's
confused.
they have a different type of passport now. They don't have to stamp them. They stopped stamping them back in, I want to say 2018 in some countries. But now the passports look a little bit differently. They don't have like all the pages where it used to be like
Okay.
paper. There's
Okay.
like one hard piece that looks like a driver's license in a sense. It's the same material as the driver's license, it's plastic, and it's got the real ID on there. So, I mean, a lot of people are going to run into those problems, with this administration we have. And I mean, we still got another 3 years and 7 months ago. So,
Josh say, "Babe, you got it." Okay, I have the new passport, I guess. Okay.
oh, see,
It's the
look, Josh flies a lot. So I know he going to make sure y'all straight.
okay, well, thank you, babe. I
Yeah.
just want the
Yeah,
goddamn
it
thing.
is. That's what it is, Josh. It's the hard copy one. And I'm
Okay.
like, I didn't even realize that mine was like that. But see, me, like I said, I take my passport with me. Like if I'm going out of state or whatever, just in the event that I lose my driver's license or something like
Okay,
that,
that makes
I
sense.
have
I
my
get it.
passport with me just in case. 'Cause you see, they ain't gonna hold me no goddamn well.
And see, and it's complete opposite for me. I don't take it everywhere with me when I travel within the states, but when I travel out of the country, of course, I need it. But when I'm
Mhm.
traveling out of the country and I go out of my hotel room, I make sure I have my passport on my person just in
Of
case
course.
anything happens and
Mhm.
I need to get to the American embassy or something like that. I
Yeah.
have my passport in my possession. But also, when you are traveling internationally as an American, it's also important that you be mindful in leaving stuff like that in your hotel room.
Yep. And not just in your hotel room, but make sure you leave a copy here in the United States with a family or
Right.
friend. Seal it
Mhm.
up. Like I said, I think I told you when you and Josh were going
Right,
on that
right, right.
cruise, make sure
Mhm.
Pam has a copy of all of those
Mhm.
documents. Because I'm telling you, with this administration, y'all, we don't know what's going to happen in the next 3 years and 7 months. So just, safeguard yourself.
So with this young lady, with this lady and her story, where her congressperson said that she was able to get an extension. So is that her license is expired? So she got the extension for her to go past the expiration date? Is that what I'm understanding?
I guess she got her an extension for because of the birth certificate issue. Some states give you a temporary driver's license. I've never
Okay.
seen Florida to do it, but in the mortgage industry, I have seen where some states will issue you a sticker or something that says that this is good for additional 30 days for whatever reason. I've never seen it in the state of Florida, but I do know that some states do offer a temporary driver's
This
license.
Hey, Auntie Rhonda, this is a good comment. You're
Hey,
right, Auntie
Rhonda.
Rhonda. It did not just start. It did start about 4 years ago, which I've had my star for a couple of years now. But
Oh,
it just went into effect where they've started. implementing the process on the Real ID to ensure that everyone
Mhm.
has the Real ID. But it did start, you're right, about 4 or 5 years ago, because I've had mine updated for some time now.
Yeah, but they just made it. I'm sorry, I misspoke. They just made it mandatory.
Mandatory that
Oh,
everyone
yeah,
has.
it's just mandatory because mine has always had mine has had the star on it for the past few years as well. So yeah, Rhonda, you are absolutely correct in that.
Correct,
But
correct.
just to everybody, just make sure your ID is up to date. Go ahead and book those appointments. The plug down in Miami-Dade, Broward County.
Don't
That
start your shit. Don't start your shit.
friend, that plug is out of business. They done Miami, especially Miami-Dade. They done put a stop on that.
Babe, I
Uh,
can guarantee you, Vicky, vote. You and I both are from Florida, and we know how shit go in Florida. I can guarantee you, they're gonna come up with something else to beat the system.
I'm gonna tell you, so far they ain't been doing it because I had been sending people out to Belgrade, but shit, they done changed the damn security guard on me out there.
Oh
So
my!
I sent my people out there to Belgrade, and she telling me, she's like, "Oh, it was a Spanish man there. He was asking me, did I have an appointment?" Now I told him I ain't had no appointment. He told me I had to leave. I said, "Oh, damn, you should have told me that before you even walked in there." So I'm like, all my connects are gone. My Delray Connect is gone. My Miami Connect is gone. My Broward County Connect is gone. My Belgrade Connect is gone. So I'm sorry, y'all. I can't get y'all no appointments, but I made a couple of dollars off of that appointment thing. I did.
Anyway,
I made my little cut. I made my little cut.
and I ain't see my Zelle or my Cash App or nothing go off
You
from
a
your.
lie because you was at the casino, damn it.
Oh, that's where that came from. Okay, I take that back. I take that back.
I did send you something, and you won.
Okay. I take it back. I take it back. All right. So I'm gonna follow. I'm gonna keep in touch with this little lady. I really want to know how her story, how it turns out for her.
Yeah.
Being born in segregation, doing segregation time, and not having a birth certificate. But we'll follow up on that. So last week, the last time we were on air 2 weeks ago, we spoke about HIV. We spoke about a woman that had been transmitted AIDS from her husband. And she died, ultimately died from the disease extremely fast. So unfortunate, very sad story. So I thought it was important that we discuss this again tonight to discuss Harris County in the state of Texas. We'll get into the story and we'll come back and discuss it.
Sobering statistics tonight. New data from Harris County Health shows cases of HIV and other sexually transmitted infections are on the rise in our area and rising faster than anywhere else in Texas. Tonight, Matt Doherty looks at which parts of the city are seeing the highest rates of new cases. He joins us live tonight in West Houston. Matt?
Yeah, the study shows the rates of new cases are rising across the board, even among some diseases you may have thought were long gone.
HIV, syphilis, gonorrhea, chlamydia, all of those. So it's a big issue we have here in our community.
Legacy Health's Director of Health Navigation, Jill Johns, sits down to discuss what nobody wants to talk about.
A trip or a burning sensation when they pee or a discharge from their genitals.
Sexually transmitted infections.
Harris County and Houston in particular has been surpassing the rates of STIs in Texas.
Due to the lag for required reporting, the most recent data in the report covers the time period between 2016 and 2022. What it shows is alarming.
Between 2016 and 2022, the rates of syphilis in our area doubled, which is definitely concerning.
Here's a map of the zip codes where the rate of syphilis is the highest. Downtown, then Montrose, then the area near Old Spanish Trail. For chlamydia, the zip codes with the highest rates are the Medical Center area, LaPorte, and downtown.
Ages 15 to 24.
Then there's gonorrhea, which has an infection rate that is surging in the area of the Medical Center, followed by downtown and then Sunnyside. The highest rates of new HIV cases were seen in Montrose, followed by the Second Ward and then Setgast. Although the sexually transmitted infections are found in basically every demographic in Harris County, the study found that there is one population that is testing positive for them more frequently.
In particular, Black women. So Black women who are heterosexual are frequently getting STIs at a higher rate than other groups.
The best place to start is from a position of knowledge. Legacy Health offers free and confidential HIV and STI testing, and some results you can learn within minutes. In West
Particularly Black women,
Heterosexual Black
heterosexual Black.
women, not the bisexual,
Yes,
not the gay
heterosexual.
Black women, heterosexual Black women.
Correct. And that was one of the key points that we spoke about when we had this conversation 2 weeks ago, is that everyone tends to associate these sexually transmitted diseases around the gay community. It's
Yep.
not just a gay disease. Okay. And then people tend to only focus on HIV, HIV. There's so many other sexually transmitted diseases out there that everyone needs to be concerned about.
Mhm.
The gonorrhea rate, the syphilis rate, the chlamydia rate, and everything. I mean, it is high, and not only in the state of Texas, um,
Mhm.
Atlanta, Illinois, Florida, all these states have extremely high, New York is off the chain, have extremely high STI rates. So it's important for one, just like Pam said in the comment, wrap it up. Not only
Wrap it
should you
up.
wrap it up, but it's also important that whomever you're dating, whether it's a
Mhm.
man and man, woman and woman, whomever, it's important that you have these conversations when
Yeah.
it comes to sexually transmitted diseases. It's so often that people tend to shy away from having these important conversations because it's such a stigma. You're looked down on, you're criticized, your business is put out there, and things like that, where people don't want to have this conversation.
Mhm.
Let me see your my charts. If we're going to date exclusively, if this is where we're going, we're working on the future, it's important that we share this type of information, and
Mhm.
also get tested together regularly,
Exactly.
and those type of conversations are extremely important, and based on this data that we just seen in this video, it spoke between 2016 and 2022, but the newest data is even higher.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
we have to most definitely keep that in mind. What you
Yeah.
guys got to
And
say about that
honestly,
comment? I'm sorry, Vicky,
and
go ahead.
honestly, one night stands should really be kind of non-existent these days, especially in Houston. With those statistics, I mean, back in the day, we had one night stands, and listen, don't y'all judge me. Some of us done
Yeah,
had more than one night stand.
friend, I'm gonna say this: a one night stand saved my life,
Listen, okay,
and here I am.
okay, I already know what you're talking about. So I'm gonna tell you, it's not a gay disease.
Correct. I'm just
Y'all
yeah.
heard what the statistics show in Houston. Houston, listen to us. Heterosexual Black women ages 15 to 24. Okay. It's not just men, it's not boys, it's not gay women. It is heterosexual women. These are women who only date men. Wrap it up. Get to know who you are sleeping with. Life is very, very precious. And if you have children, you have more responsibility than a single person ever could have. Your children need you. We need you. Life needs you. Protect yourself at all costs.
That is very true. Auntie Rhonda says the numbers are really high in our senior citizens as well. And
Oh,
our younger women are accepting their partners being bisexual as well. Now, I will
hmm.
say, yes, I have heard that a lot of senior citizens are contracting STIs. But also,
What?
I have heard that a lot of senior citizens are contracting STIs because they're dating these younger guys out in the streets and stuff like that. And but also on the second part of her comment with the younger women are accepting their partners and being bisexual. Yes, a lot of women are accepting that. But I guess the flip side of that, it makes me say, just because you're bisexual don't mean that you have an STI. But
Hmm.
also keeping in mind that it's not just a gay disease because the statistics are so high where, heterosexuals are contracting these diseases and they're passing it along to, you know,
Right.
other, passing it along to their spouse. And it's so unfortunate that this is happening. And I just hate the fact that the gay community always has to take the rap because of the fact that
Mhm. Mhm.
a man is down low or a man is bisexual, that we have to take the rap for it, which is not 100% accurate.
Right. It's not.
Mhm.
But like I said, people thought of it, when it first came out in the 80s, people thought of it as a gay disease. But then, you found out you can get it from blood transfusions, things like that. You can get AIDS a number of ways, but saliva, I did my research years ago, and you can't get it from saliva or sweat or things. It literally has to be bodily fluids that come
Correct.
from within,
But
meaning
also
blood, semen, things like that.
but also keep in mind that there's a difference between AIDS and HIV. And it's
Oh,
and
yes.
that's what people need to educate themselves on,
Yeah,
especially people in the Black community.
yeah.
Not to say that you should run out and contract HIV, which can
Mhm.
eventually turn into AIDS if you don't take care of yourself. But it's important that you understand that
Right.
having HIV and having AIDS is two totally different things. Where
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
based on your T cells, is based on your viral load. It's based on how you take care of yourself, taking your medication, what medication you're taking, what type of relationship you have with your doctor, and things like that. Having AIDS, which HIV eventually develops into when you don't take care of yourself.
Mhm.
Totally different things. But also keep it in mind, when you are considered HIV positive and you're considered undetectable, the chances of you transmitting that virus onto someone else is almost zero. Keep in mind that anyone that you sleep with is more of a health threat to you than you are to them.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
also keep in mind that heterosexuals, men or women,
Mhm.
you also need to understand that there's something out there called PrEP. PrEP can protect you, but PrEP doesn't protect you from all sexually transmitted diseases. It protects you from contracting HIV. But
Yep.
also keep in mind, if you don't want to take PrEP, it's very easy to wrap it up. Very
Yep.
simple.
Yep. And you have herpes, you have herpes is not curable, in case people didn't know. But we're not doctors or medical professionals. I wear a lot of hats, but a medical professional is definitely not one of them. But please consult your physician, consult any AIDS activist groups, learn more about the disease, okay, before you make judgment on anybody or what we're saying. And just remember, if you are HIV positive and you do sleep with someone, please let that person, let them know you're HIV positive, and there is a risk that they may contract full-blown AIDS. That person
Correct.
may remain HIV positive for many, many years, but they sleep with one person, and the person they slept with can contract full-blown AIDS and be gone before they are. It's no
Correct.
longer a death sentence. It doesn't have to be a death sentence.
It does not. And until you're absolutely right, gay, heterosexual, bisexual, we're all dealing with each other. That is
That's
absolutely right.
right. That's
And I
right. Be
totally
picky,
agree
be
with you.
choosy.
Be picky, choosy. You're right. It is your life. Have
That's
those
right.
conversations. Be vigilant. Understand what you're getting yourself into, and don't allow anyone to make a decision for you.
Yeah. And Pam, Pam has a good point there. I chuckled a little bit because, she said Mr.
Also,
Freddie's in a nursing home and he hunching more than one woman and he's passing around. Believe it or not,
that is
yeah.
very true.
Yeah, I
That is
have.
very true.
I actually worked in a nursing home many, many years ago in dietary, and we used to, catch these old men in these women's rooms. They doing the nasty. Unprotected. Them old men don't know nothing about no condom. They can't fit no condom on their thing anyway. It's gonna fall off at that age. But yeah, that goes on in a nursing home. And you know what? It's so unfortunate that some of the nurses, it's probably the ones that paid 15 grand for their certificates, but they think that's funny. They think that's fun to watch. Oh, and laugh about, but it's not, because these people are already elderly living in a nursing home, and yet they're diagnosed with AIDS. Remember the story we did the last time we were on the air, where the
Mhm.
lady took her ex-husband back,
Correct.
and this lady had a cancer. She beat cancer twice
Correct.
just to take the man back and die of AIDS.
And I have AIDS. At that age, that's crazy.
Unbelievable.
Maria, I agree. Women need to insist their sexual partners wrap it up, but I think that there's a deeper conversation that needs to be had prior to even getting to that point.
Yeah.
They need to insist that we have a conversation about STIs. We have a
Yeah.
conversation about getting tested together. We have a conversation about sharing each other's my charts. So yeah, it goes deeper than that. So
Yeah.
but
Most
this is a great conversation, and thank you guys so much in the comments for
yes.
commenting and being
For
involved in this conversation.
engaging.
It's extremely important. So I do want to make an announcement again because I see I do have some people streaming on my Patrick Parker Facebook page. I want to let you guys know, please, please, please. I'm only streaming on this page tonight because I wanted to capture more of my audience and make them aware of the fact that Deliberate Discussions is moving over 100% to our Deliberate Discussions YouTube page. So if you can please, 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 please log on to YouTube. Please click on to Deliberate Discussions YouTube account and subscribe, and continue to follow us there. We greatly
Yes.
appreciate it. Thank you so much. What this comment said, this is a good topic. Women, if he don't want to wrap it up, don't want to wrap up, there are no condoms for women.
There are condoms for women. There are. There are
There are
condoms
condoms.
for
There
women.
are. I have seen those. Yeah, they are. There are. Have you ever used one of those, friend?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't use it with a man,
Okay.
but I used it
Okay.
with a woman.
Okay. That's
Doesn't
all
give
I
the
get.
same effect. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, it didn't give the same effect as doing it there, but I did. And I
Okay.
recommend it for somebody else, but it just wasn't right for
Okay.
me. But
Okay.
yeah.
Hey, Auntie Irma.
Hey, Auntie Irma.
Hey, I understand. I just asked the question.
I, hey, you know me, I'm very transparent. So hey,
No, but I
only
love
time
this
I can be
conversation.
embarrassed is never.
Excuse me. I love this conversation, and thank you guys so much for y'all of your comments and continue to spread awareness on this
Yes.
on HIV and other STI diseases out there. All right, so
Oh,
friend,
you know what? And I'm sorry, we did overlook. We do have a medical professional on here. We have Polly Ann Hatcher on here. If she's still watching, Polly Ann, tell us what you think about this. You're in the medical field. Polly Ann started off. My daughter is 28 years old. She started off as my daughter's pediatrician nurse. So I've been
okay,
knowing her for a very long time. So she's been in the medical field for a really long time. And I just fell in love with her in 1996 when I had my baby. So
yeah, Auntie has been in the medical field for a
I
very
hate
long
you
time.
that you're eating right now because I'm so hungry, friend, and you had a
Well, you
nerve to
know what
do
I'm
that.
eating? I'm eating ice actually, friend, to clear my
And
throat.
please, and listen, I want me some ice so bad. My iron level is low. I've been drinking this stuff here. I don't know if y'all can
Okay.
see that, but I've been drinking the liquid iron. It's really actually pretty good. But yeah, I can't eat nothing. No. So
I'm
hungry.
sorry, babe. So let's take this over to, and this next video may disturb some people, but it's
Yes.
important that we continue to have these conversations because it's happening so often where this current administration is just rolling back everything. To making it so that police officers are not held accountable in any type of way whatsoever, and they can just go out and assault anyone and be okay, kill someone and be covered. So let's roll this video and come back and talk about it.
Good evening. A Henderson police sergeant use of force against a woman be called into question. Thanks for joining us here at 6. I'm Denise Valdez.
And I'm Brian Loftus. Now, body camera video obtained by the 8 News Now investigators appears to be different from the sergeant's story.
Vanessa Murphy has this story you'll only see on 8.
Henderson Police Sergeant Scott Allward responds to a call about an alleged combative woman, and this quickly escalates. The 8 News Now investigators obtaining this video from sources who want to remain anonymous but are concerned about what they believe is excessive use of force. We dug deeper. And in this report, Allward writes he believed she was going to spit in his face and used his open palm to strike her in the upper chest to redirect her body and the perceived attack. So we obtained Allward's body camera video to confirm his version of events. What we don't see is this woman trying to spit on him.
Get over to my car, do it now.
Let's start from the beginning.
Follow simple instructions, go to the front of my car, do it now.
She does not immediately comply.
You're going to get taken to the ground if you don't listen to me right now. Get to the front of the car, do it now. Turn towards me. What are you doing? Get on the ground, roll over. Roll over. Roll on your stomach, do it now.
Okay, let me.
Roll on your stomach.
Oh.
Control, Sam 2125.
Allward calls for help and asks for a lieutenant.
Put this hand out. Do it now. Do it now. Stay right there.
Oh, Lord.
This was October 26th, a Saturday afternoon. The call stemming from a park near Boulder Highway and Basic Road, the woman's sister telling police she battered her. Allward notes in his report she appears to be agitated and under the influence. He also cites her propensity for violence. After he strikes her, he states he used his knee to pin her shoulder to the ground. She refused to show her other hand tucked under her waist. He claims there was a sharp pencil where she was laying and where she was concealing her hand. We are unable to see a pencil in this video.
She had that pencil in her hand. She turned towards me. Just make sure you take pictures, please.
Allward's report states the pencil was booked into evidence, and 2 witnesses confirmed the woman didn't comply.
You don't have to force me.
She refused medical attention, and according to the video, Allward did too.
Any injuries? No.
Allward has been involved in several police shootings, 2 in which the subjects were unarmed.
Filipino 41 shot fired.
One of them a teen who was running away. Allward was promoted from officer to sergeant. When we requested Allward's use of force record, the city initially told us it doesn't have that. Then that changed, and we received this list. What it doesn't appear to include is this October incident. But the city of Henderson isn't always transparent. There's the revolving door of police chiefs, no reason provided for the most recent firing. And it is a challenge getting public records. We requested this body camera video in February. We didn't receive it until Wednesday. The city redacted the officers' faces, but not the woman's. The 8 News Now investigators tried reaching her. We were unable to track her down. Court records show she was convicted of 2 misdemeanor charges, including resisting an officer.
Get to the front of the car, do it now. Turn towards me.
Vanessa Murphy, 8 News Now.
Henderson says the incident was investigated by Internal Affairs and, quote, handled accordingly, unquote. They did not say if the investigation resulted in... Good evening. A Henderson police...
What about that goddamn situation was handled accordingly?
You know what? When they use, I've learned when they say that, that means that it was a settlement made and it was sealed.
But also, I don't blame. Yes, the officer is wrong. I get it. But at the end of the day, I blame the police department because they continue to allow these type of officers to be on their force.
Again, this is the administration that we're in. I mean, we knew it was coming eventually. So, I mean, you know, it's unfortunate, but this is the reality.
That is very true.
Project 25. Everything we're seeing these days in the news, Project 2025 coming to fruition.
Correct. And that leads me into something that just broke on the news today concerning the police officers. The department and over here that the whole George Floyd thingy. The Trump administration has rolled back all of and dropped all of the charges and all that stuff towards that police department and the agreement that they had, you know, concerning the George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and all the stuff that they did wrong and everything. They have rolled all that back to protect police officers.
Even in Georgia, the death of those twin boys, now all of a sudden they have a new video and, you know, showing these kids going into the convenience store and they come out and their Uber driver was late picking them up. They missed their flight, you know, but I'm like the family. It's still not adding up. But like I said, this is the reality of the administration that we are currently in. And, you know, we got 3 years, 7 more months of this foolishness. So let's govern ourselves accordingly. And Maria, to answer your question, how was this handled accordingly? Like I said, from my experience and what when I've talked to police officers, when they say something, when they make a statement like that to the news media, that means that it was settled without going to court or anything like that, without the media, and it was sealed. So they probably gave this lady $5,000-$6,000. I know it had to be less than 10. She refused medical care. He refused medical care. Me personally, I think he planted the pencil on her.
Correct. I thought about that as well. Did you know about this comment that Auntie Rhonda just made? It's going to be a terrible adverse effect. We saw an incident of an officer being killed because of rage.
Yeah, I saw that. And
Okay.
and I mean, that's
Wow.
the reality of it all. I mean, there's going to be more police killings, and there's going to be more police killing other citizens. So, I mean, the battlefield
Yeah.
the
And it's
battlefield is
something-
back open.
Wasn't that in Texas just recently where the young man was killed by the police and he was shot in the back, and then the dad a couple of days later killed the police officer?
And I think I ain't lying. I mean, as a parent, I probably would have done the same thing. I hate to say it, but sometimes we don't care. When it comes to our kids,
That is true.
I mean, when people say they're gonna die about theirs, they're gonna die about theirs. Me, I'm gonna die for mine. I'm gonna die about mine. If they are
Mhm.
done wrong by law enforcement who is there to serve and protect, I have a problem with that.
I get it. I totally understand. I
None of us
totally
are
get
safe,
it.
Maria.
You
You're
know?
absolutely right. None of us are safe. The police are not safe. We are not safe because this administration
Yeah.
has literally created a war zone for the entire
Mhm.
United
That is
States. They
true.
have created a war zone.
And people are
Exactly.
defending themselves towards these and fighting back
Yeah.
towards these
I mean,
police
look what
officers.
happened before Donald Trump got into office. The gun laws, they became lax on the gun laws in a lot of states, but they became more strict on the death penalty. So
Exactly.
let's think about that. You go easy on the gun laws, but you go strong for the death penalty. What does that say? We want y'all to commit murders
Yeah.
so we can put y'all ass to sleep.
Yep. That is very
But
true.
not the police. The police
That
can
is very
commit
true.
murder, but we're going to exonerate them. You see the difference? We're going to exonerate the
Yeah,
police.
that's
We're not
sad.
going to hold them accountable. But if you kill an officer, we're going to put your ass to death.
Correct. Correct. And it's so funny that you say that because there are so many officers that were hurt, one killed during January 6th in DC. And then when Trump got into office, those very people that was arrested for various crimes dealing with January 6th, he actually pardoned. And you have several of them that's been killed or in jail again and all this stuff or whatever. Yeah, I agree, Maria. It has
It
turned
is.
into a
It is.
dictatorship.
It really
That's Trump
is.
wants to be a dictator
And he's
so
a
bad.
tyrant. He's
Yeah,
a
he wants to be a
tyrant.
correct.
Let me just address something real
So,
quick. I just got a text message
okay.
from somebody. She says, I love watching y'all show and the way y'all interact with each other. She's like, but a lot of these stories that y'all talking about, these are old stories. Baby, let me tell you something about deliberate discussions. We don't give a damn if the story 10 years old or 10 days old. We're discussing it.
We don't know about it in our audience.
We just discussing it. It's an incident. It can happen. It's an incident that could happen 10 years ago. It can possibly happen today. We talk about current events, past events, events that may be yet to come. So, I mean, we appreciate you watching, but seriously, it's a discussion.
Because also it is, it's a discussion, but also keeping in mind that most of the stories that we actually report on and discuss don't make it on mainstream media.
Exactly.
So a lot of our audience members and you in particular as well don't know about these stories. A lot of things that's currently going on in this current administration, none of us has any clue about. But us as deliberate discussions, we do our due diligence and our research to ensure that we report that to the people. Any one of these things that's happening in these stories that we are discussing tonight, let's say this, the first story, the lady that was born in segregation, that could be your grandmother.
Okay.
Okay. The young lady that just got shoved by the police officer, whether that happened yesterday or 10 years ago, that could be
Exactly.
your mother today.
Exactly.
You understand what
So
I'm
I mean,
saying? So
I'm
at the end
sorry,
of the day,
I'm sorry, friend, if you feel that way, but that's the reality. That's what deliberate discussions is. We don't give a damn about the story being 10 years old or 20 years old. We don't care. Kids are out there still being
you're correct. And I
kidnapped.
will
Kids are out there still being murdered. The police are still murdering people. The police are still battering innocent people for doing nothing. The police are still abusing their power. Okay, people are still
correct.
being taken
And
advantage of. People are still getting AIDS and HIV because they're not told. HIV and AIDS came out in the 80s. But yet it's more
that is true.
rampant now than it was back then.
That's absolutely
It
true.
got me
And I will
talking
say
my
the
damn
next story
mouth.
that we're
Girl,
going
don't you text me no shit like that no more.
yeah. And the next story that we are going to discuss could actually be you, your mother, your sister, your niece, your cousin, your coworker, or anybody. And it's actually something that's going
Right
on
now.
right now. And it's very serious. So we'll play this story. We'll go to Georgia and we'll come back and discuss it. Oh, have mercy, Jesus. Give me the strength.
These people.
It's okay, baby. You can't please everybody, and it's okay.
They ain't gonna
But
dictate how we run
everybody has
deliberate
an
discussions, though.
that's very true.
Civil rights is old.
30-year-old Adriana Smith was about 9 weeks pregnant when she started having bad headaches in February.
They gave her some medication, but they didn't do any tests.
The next morning, Adriana's boyfriend noticed something was terribly wrong. Unfortunately, there was nothing doctors could do. Doctors declared Adriana brain dead. Because of Georgia's heartbeat bill, which bans abortions after a fetal heartbeat is detected, her family says they weren't given any say in what happens next. Now, 21 weeks pregnant, her baby's health uncertain.
My grandson may be blind, may not be able to walk, wheelchair bound. We don't know if he'll live once she has him. And I'm not saying that we would have chose to terminate her pregnancy. What I'm saying is we should have had a choice.
How would you feel friend, if you didn't have a choice and that was one of your daughters?
I would be angry, extremely angry. I probably would take matters into my own hands. I'm sorry, they have no right to keep this woman alive. What if she has a DNR? Do not resuscitate.
True.
But because her child has a heartbeat, they cannot terminate the pregnancy. You don't have to terminate the pregnancy if the mother is deemed brain dead and she is on breathing machines. She's on machines that are keeping her alive just to keep the baby alive. And the baby well, she was 9 weeks when this happened. And this just happened like a month ago, I think.
Yeah, and they don't know what condition the baby's in.
So I mean, what's the normal pregnancy? It's been so long since I had a baby, but the normal pregnancy is what, 38 to 40 weeks, I believe. That's not right. Like this grandmother says, she doesn't know if her grandson is going to be blind. And then that's another issue. What if he is blind? What if he is handicapped? What if he does have cerebral palsy? What if anything happens? He has a learning disability. And what are they going to do when that baby's born? Who are they going to give that baby to take care of him?
Exactly. Now you're going to force this grandmother to take care of this baby, that may potentially have some type of, issue in growing up, a learning disability or something like that. And again, like she said, I agree. They should have been given a choice.
And like Rhonda just said, do like the young lady did the other week. took her loved one off life support, and went to jail. And that's the
Yeah, she took
reality
she
of it.
went
That's
right in
what
there.
I would do.
She went right in there and took her mom off her life. She
They
pulled the
didn't give the
plug.
father a choice. They didn't give the mother a choice. So now this grandmother has to wonder if this child survives, if this baby survives, who are they going to give this child to that's going to love him and be able to take care of him? Is the state going to support him?
Correct.
Are they going to give her Section 8?
Yep.
Are they going to give her food stamps? Are they going to give her a monthly stipend to take care of
Girl, all
free
that'll be
medical care? These are all things that he's trying to
nope,
cut
all that.
out, but I don't understand it. And this is what angers me about this whole administration.
And this is another story that proves the importance of voting and know who you're voting for. If there's a bill currently, the big beautiful bill, that's the name of it. If it passed, the House may very well pass the bill tonight. They scrambling up votes to pass the bill tonight before it goes to the Senate. If the bill makes it out of the Senate, y'all can kiss Medicare, snap all that stuff goodbye.
Yeah.
You
And I'm
understand
gonna
what
tell
I'm
you, we're
saying?
gonna have a
So
conversation
it's
on
just
Section 8. Because that's one thing I do agree on. But that's a different topic. But I've been having a discussion with a few
yeah.
people
So
about Section 8, Donald Trump giving them 2 years. That's one thing I do agree with the president about.
correct. But it's unfortunate. People have to know, you know, what they're voting for. And this bill that's causing this in the state of Georgia is because the Republicans are in power. They run the House, they run the Senate, and it's nothing we can do
Now,
about it.
Rhonda made two
Point
good
blank
points. She
period.
says, but you can't get an abortion, and the grandparents have no rights. So here's my thing.
That is
They say, okay, she couldn't get an abortion. She was, and it more than likely came about her headaches and what happened to her probably came about because of the pregnancy. But even if the child is deemed,
Mhm.
even if the child poses a medical threat to her in the state of Georgia, she can't get an abortion. So then the grandmother has no rights to the baby. The grandmother has rights to the daughter. So why can't she take her child off life support before that baby gets formed all the way? Because at 26 weeks, a child, they used to give abortions up to what, 28 weeks, I believe, maybe 22. I mean, I
Correct.
don't have a few, so back then, I mean, I want to say it was 22 or 26 weeks. So why I just don't understand it. They don't want to tell us, they don't want us to do what we want to do with our bodies and make our decisions. They want to do shit like this. And this is what really pisses me off. You want to control a woman's
Exactly.
body, but you don't want to take care of that woman's child when it gets here.
Let me ask you this question. Who paying for this woman to be on life support?
I'm sure her mama gonna get that bill. I'm pretty sure her mama. You think the state is gonna pick that up? Do you really think the state of Georgia is gonna pick that up? Honey, that hospital bill is coming to her next of kin.
That's crazy. That is absolutely insane. Or let me ask you this question: If she's currently being covered under insurance, the insurance company would be forced to pay
But
pay
insurance
this bill.
benefits eventually will run out. And depending
Correct.
on
That's
if
true.
she has
Yeah,
insurance, she has to meet a certain deductible for certain conditions. Now, her pregnancy
correct.
may not be covered under the insurance. I
Mhm.
mean, that's something that,
Wow.
only her mother can answer.
Mhm.
It's crazy.
Okay. Well, great discussion. Well, everyone, I appreciate everyone's comments tonight, and this has been a really, really good episode of Deliberate Discussions. I typically end the show with playing a motivational video just to carry you guys on through the rest of your week. But I found it important that we have a different conversation tonight. There's a video that I'm going to play, and I ask that everyone that is listening to the show tonight that you listen to this video to comprehend, to understand versus listening to reply. This is extremely important to me as a Black gay man, openly gay man living in this country in the current times that we're currently in this current administration, but also understanding that not only are we all under attack in this country right now because no one is safe, but myself and my trans brothers and sisters are also under attack heavily, and our very existence want to be erased by this current administration. So I want you guys to listen to this conversation, but I will say that let's just listen to it and come back.
I wanted to ask you, which are you confronted with first? And I hope I'm wording it correctly.
Yeah.
Being Black or being same gender love?
I reject the premise of the question.
Okay, reject.
I think even the positing of the question reinforces all of the worst parts of whiteness. Because if you are a white man, you never have to choose.
Ooh.
You're always in a position of power.
Ooh.
The further away you move from being a white man, and let's go back to the origins of the term, to be a man in this country meant that you were white, straight,
yes,
married,
yes,
Protestant,
yes,
and land owning. There were conditions to this.
Yes.
If you weren't any of those things, you didn't have the same rights as a designated man did. And what I know is that not only do I feel like I am unable to choose, I'm not doing that work for nobody else. You got to take all of me.
Yeah.
And this is what I know is one of the challenges. White mediocrity suggests that we pick and choose, not only within ourselves, but within our community. There's so much diversity. Again, everything that exists now started in Africa. And I want us to remember, let's reclaim African ways of being. There are countries that you can go to right now where they don't have gender pronouns, where he and she don't exist. Sambufu Some, one of my favorite writers, wrote a book called The Spirit of Intimacy. Chapter 13 of the book is titled Homosexuality, the Gatekeepers. They write, in my village in West Africa, the words lesbian and gay did not exist, but the word gatekeeper did. More importantly for me, they go on to say, gatekeepers hold the space between our community, the village, and our ancestors. In most spaces, whether it's Tahiti, Turtle Island, or Hawaii, Native indigenous spaces, understand that queer people are sacred. You don't get closer to freedom without having to go through us. It is why you can't talk about civil rights in this country without naming Bayard Rustin, a Black gay man who got his tooth knocked out, protesting, standing up for righteousness. He was a Quaker who understood that this is about us all celebrating and acknowledging our humanity. Marsha paying no mind Johnson. The P paying no mind was, why you all up in my business?
Don't go too fast. I got to pause right here.
Okay.
I got to pause right here because you guys.
See, I'm about to get excited.
No. But I want to drop it because I don't want to go on presumed knowledge.
Okay.
I need you all to know that Bayard Rustin was the genius behind Dr. King.
Yes, and if I can push you, when you think of him, think this is gonna make some people uncomfortable. When you think of his name, think bi like bisexual. It's spelled like Bay, like the Bay, but it's Bayard Rustin. And not only so, beyond that, we would not have nonviolent civil protests if it were not for Bayard Rustin. He studied nonviolent civil protests internationally at the feet of monks and then brought that back here. He was not only Dr. King's confidant, he was a speechwriter, served as a godfather to his children, a friend to Coretta. And to a part of our earlier conversation, it was Black folks in the movement who wanted to sideline him and get him out of the way, who sold him out. Go to June, Pride Month. People forget that because it's usually skinny white boys and rainbows and unicorns, right? Stuff I don't like. They not like us. We would not have Pride if it were not for a Black woman, a Black trans woman named Marsha P. Johnson. Trans wasn't the term at the time. She would have called herself a drag performer. There's a whole nother conversation there around the evolution of terms and language, but Marsha paid no mind Johnson, the P was because people would ask her, who are you? And she was like, I pay that no mind. Why are you, if you're not loving on me, why are you concerned about some things that actually shouldn't concern you? And this is a Black woman who was a sex worker, who organized community, started an organization called STAR to make sure that children who were cast away had access to stable housing, to the medical services that they need. We've always shown up in these roles. And if we don't find ways to reject the things that whiteness continues to push upon us and reclaim African ways of being, we will die under the weight of the system that is designed to benefit them. This is when Brian Stevenson says systems work exactly as designed. This goes back to me saying that I refuse to do the work of trying to separate important parts of what make me whole.
I need you to do a quick remedial class. I have a doctorate degree, but I also have a GED. Help me translate. Yes, translate for me. What is transgender?
Yep. So, yep. In the purest sense of the term, doctors make guesses at what gender is going to be at birth, right? Which is why people still engage in this arcane practice of gender reveals. Doctors are using every tool that they have, right? They're assessing chromosomes and makeup through the lens of biology, which is more of a social construct. The two things get mixed together. And they typically say that this child will likely be a boy, this child will likely be a girl. There's a small percentage of times where you cannot make a determination based on scientific principles. And so that baby might be intersex. If you, as a person growing up and developing, identify with the gender that the doctor assigned to you, you are cisgendered. CIS, not cis, you are cisgendered.
Tell me what that is.
It simply means that your gender identity is consistent with the gender identity that a doctor assigned to you.
Okay.
If that is not true for you, if my identity is different than what a doctor said it was going to be, you're trans. In a pure sense, that's what it means.
I got it.
We often get tripped up and start to think about sex and genitalia and stuff that generally is not somebody's concern unless you're trying to love up on somebody.
Right.
But this is literally about gender as it was assigned at birth, which is why you see this current administration trying to limit gender to that which a doctor assigned without regard for how one experiences life, how they've engaged in development, how they themselves see themselves in the mirror and wake up in the morning.
To play that video, because that video showed how important it is for two people to sit down and have a conversation. I was so proud of Dr. Jamal for being open and being able to ask questions and being open to learning. Dr. John explained everything so
brilliantly. And this is the conversation that we all need to have.
The one thing that got me was in the beginning
I
when he said,
reject the premise of the
premise.
conversation of this question. That's the first thing I said, Lord. I love it. I love it.
So I wanted to play this video because I also wanted to reach our audience as well. To a lot of our followers are parents, and you could be dealing or have a child that could be dealing with something or that's out. But I also want you to understand as a parent what we, especially Black gay men, have to face on a daily basis. The next thing I'll say, I want to be very clear. It's no offense to my lesbian sisters, brothers and sisters. My mothers are lesbians and I love them to death. My co-host is bisexual. But I want you to also understand, living in this gay lifestyle, life is very much different for a Black gay man and a Black gay lesbian. Two totally different things. Black gay women are more accepted because they're looked at it from the straight society as like, okay, this is a fantasy for me. But for us as Black gay men, we're expected to live up to such a high expectations versus being who we are. So it's important that those type of conversations are being had. But when having those conversations, it's important that you are listening to comprehend, listening to understand versus listening to reply and become defensive.
He broke that down very, very well. Even even when they talked about Marsha Johnson. And
Marsha P.
yeah, I
Johnson.
mean,
I
he really
love
broke
Marsha P.
that
Johnson.
down.
Y'all have not seen, if y'all don't know who
Baby,
Marsha
she
P. Johnson
paved
is,
the
and y'all have
way.
not seen the documentary, she
What she
paved
did.
the way for the queer community, and it started in New York City in Stonewall. You have to watch
Yes,
the documentary
yes,
on
yes.
Netflix.
Marsha P. Johnson. If
So
you don't know, you better ask somebody. We done told you here on Deliberate Discussions.
exactly.
Marsha P. Johnson,
Correct.
Dr.
Correct.
David Johns, Pastor Jamal Bryant. Love this
Yes.
conversation. Love,
That
love,
was
love it. It's a conversation that needed to be had. And who better to bring it to us than those two gentlemen? And when I tell you, Dr. Johns, he
yes.
broke that down perfectly. Perfectly. If you didn't get anything out of that, you need to go back and play it over and over and over and over and dissect it yourself. Because this is the conversation that we as Black people, white people,
Need to have.
and any other race needs to have, because it goes on in every single race.
Yep.
Y'all don't think they're ready
Yep.
for that?
Yep.
I don't think they're ready.
They ain't. But I'm gonna
You got to be at a
talking,
different
Fred. I'm gonna
level
keep
to
talking.
accept what Dr. Johns and
That is
Jamal
true. And
Bryant.
one thing that I also like, one thing that he said in that conversation is that I can't do the work
Yeah.
for you, something like that, or whatever along those lines. And I will say we do get to a point as Black gay men where we have to continue explaining ourselves to people as to why we are
Yeah.
the way that we are, why we love, why we are, same
Yeah.
gender loving and things like that. Bitch, because I am. Who gives a damn? It is. And it gets very tiring that you have to continue to be looked down on, or why are you like this? Girl, why you paying these bills at 826? It's actually a new conversation, Auntie. I'll send it to you. It's
Yeah,
new,
that's a new conversation. If
um,
you go, I don't know if you have TikTok, but if you go on is it on Dr. Jamal Bryant?
I'll
Yeah.
send it to you, Auntie.
And Maria, you're right. They look at lesbians as, and I'm not a lesbian, I'm bisexual. I love me some they look at lesbians as sexy or freaky, but for men, it's an issue. It's an issue. And you know what? It to me, being bisexual, it's a turnoff for me. Like as soon as they find that out, they want threesomes and they want to, oh, I just watch you and another woman. No, it don't work like that. That's not what it's all
Correct.
about.
Maria just actually said that like she said, they look at
Yeah.
us lesbians as if it's sexy,
It's an
freaky, but
issue,
for
and
men,
that's what
it's
I'm
an
talking
issue.
about.
That is
It's
absolutely true.
absolutely right. They look at it as sexy, like all of a sudden. I mean, I ain't no dime piece, you know what I'm saying? But I can fix myself up, look good. But as soon as a man hears that, oh, I like women, they be like, oh, for real? Now all of a sudden I'm real sexy to them. I'm one of the finest bitches in the room now. But
Exactly.
if y'all Marsha P. Johnson, y'all have to go and look that up and read up on Marsha P. Johnson. Y'all have to go to Dr. John's page, Dr. David Johns. And I follow Jamal Bryant anyway, but he broke that down so good. I love
It's so
it.
good. It
I
was
love
such a
it.
great.
And that conversation
As much as I love Dr. Johns, I had a newfound respect for Dr. Jamal
Yes.
Bryant because he was open
Yes.
to learning.
Yes.
He
Without
asked
judgment.
questions and being without judgment, and being a Black heterosexual man, not only a Black heterosexual man, also a leader of a church, a bishop. And so those two worlds coming together and him having a better understanding when he preaches in front of his congregation, he can now go back with a better understanding of love and acceptance.
That's true.
So that was just great. So I'm glad that I
I'm
played that
glad
video.
to.
And
I
thank you
love
guys so much.
that. I really do. And like I said, I can play that over and over again. But that first part, when Pastor Bryant asked him that question, he say, "I reject the premises of that question."
Reject the premises of that question. I say yes, Dr. John.
I just love that answer. I really did. But I
All
know
right, well,
we've
let's
gone over probably because at the beginning we were talking about my braces and we're talking about the Beyonce concert, the Renaissance tour, and everything. But we really appreciate you guys. We're not on until June 4th again, our last episode.
June June 4th, we will
Yes,
be back.
Thadric is going to be traveling. I'm going to be healing my mouthpiece. And getting my iron level back to where it should be.
Correct.
So, and then I have some things that I'm going to be working on as well, and I might be taking a little vacation while he's gone. But we will be back on June 4th. We're still talking about having our town hall. So again, if you are interested, if you want to be a part of this show, please call or text me 561-325-1488, or you can email us at deliberategdiscussions@gmail.com. Our plan is to give everybody 10 minutes. So we're looking to have at least 4 to 5 guests on the show. So we really like to have you. If you have something, a story that you want to talk about, or a business, an event, anything like that, we're going to do a town hall. We want to have different discussions. And we want our viewers, we want to hear from our viewers, and we want our viewers to hear from our viewers, if that makes sense. So.
Correct. All right. Well, you all have an amazing evening.
Thank you all
Thank you guys so much for tuning
joining
in
us.
tonight.
We love you guys.